All right, so this is how you get a software engineering internship with no experience. So now, first started to apply for these internships. I generally wasn't qualified for most of the roles that I was looking at. They listed some skills that I really didn't know, and they wanted previous internship experience on top of that. Like if you go into the descriptions, right? So if you've been job hunting for a while, or if you've been hunting for internships for a little bit, you know those like listings they ask for, they expect you to be like a full-time engineer already, and they expect you to already know everything right in the job description itself. So that really, demotivated me a lot, and I was like, if I'm trying to get these internships for experience itself, like why am I having to have prior experience? It's like a paradox, right? Like I'm looking for experience and you want me to have prior experience. How do I get the prior experience? So this video is going to break down how I get the prior experience. So they also wanted, impressive projects. And I really didn't have any of that. I didn't know many programming languages. I didn't have many of those skills. I didn't use a lot of those technologies. I didn't have really good projects either. So I'm gonna share my story on how I did it, and I ended up landing internships at Verizon and Apple, and I'll show you guys how I did it from start to finish. So my projects were mid, but nothing crazy, right? Nothing that would make the recruiter pause or anything. They were basic full stack projects. So I'll be totally honest with you guys. So what I did for the projects itself, for a few of them, like when I first got started, what I would do is I would literally like go on YouTube, search up like a project tutorial. If I saw that project look cool, I would literally fork that code, mess around with it, and change some stuff. Like if it had like if the UI was blue in the tutorial, I would make it red or something, like something crazy like that. And then I would change up like the font, the colors, the numbers, everything, right? So I was try to personalize as much as I could and try to really understand the functions, and then I would pass that on as a project. Like that's literally what I did at the start. But going back to it, um, so with all of this, I did land internships, and it's very shocking, I know. But now I do want to stress some things. You can follow this guide that I'm going to show you here and still not land internships at a name brand company. This is because luck is also involved. When I got these internships, right? Like I'm not gonna like BS you guys and be like, yes, I got it like 100% because of my skills. Like, of course, there was luck. There's luck is always involved in anything that you do, and some of it you can say it comes from God. Some of it you can say it's just statistics, whatever you believe in, right? But I did work very hard and made myself ready for those experiences and increase my odds, and that's the best thing that we can do. So in this video, really, I'm going to break down exactly what I did to get get those internships with no experience at all. So every single program I'm going to mention is completely free, and I personally did all of them, so I can vouch for every single one of them. So yeah, let's get into it right now. So yeah, let's do it. So the very first thing I did was I did something called CodePath. So CodePath is basically structured skill building, and I'm gonna have all the links for these down below. But CodePath offers a lot of like free technical courses for college students. So you have to apply and then get accepted, and then you follow a structured curriculum week by week. They do offer courses in web development, mobile development, technical interview preparation, AI, and emerging technologies. And what I really appreciated about CodePath itself was, first of all, the structure. They have like really good structure. Like every single week, you know what you're gonna learn. They give you some homework to do, and then you really get that constant feedback loop. And then on top of that, you have the community. The community is so nice. Everyone in there has the same mindset, and the teachers there are so kind, so helpful. So yeah, it's really really nice. I highly recommend it. Again, it's completely free, and not a lot of people know about it. So I'd hop on that. Um, but um, instead of guessing, what to build or how to improve, they literally give you a roadmap from start to finish. That's what you're building, right? So they tell you, here's what you're building, here's what you need to learn this week, here are what you need to deliver. And then by the end, you'll have real projects, teamwork experience, and then concrete skills to discuss in interviews. If you're really unsure how to improve your resume, like this helps with the project aspect of it at least. And I personally did two of the courses there, the web development course and then the technical prep courses. Both were amazing and I learned a lot. So that's the first one. And then the second one I did was the breakthrough tech. So this gives you paid experience and then real projects as well. So I did two programs in there. So the first one was the sprint internship. So these are like short-term internships. It's like 1 to 2 to 3 months. Like it just depends. I think it's 1 to 2 months actually. And then you apply, you get matched with the company, and then you work on a real project. Now these are paid through the compensation itself depends on your host company itself. My host company was Verizon. And then the key here is really accessibility. You don't need an extensive background to apply. Many students hesitate because they feel unqualified or underqualified. And this is also how I felt. But applying anyway really made the difference. This is what opened the doors for me to get into Verizon, and I ultimately leveraged that into Apple. But I did the internship with Verizon, and then balled out in there, and then got a return offer for 2025 summer, and then I balled out there and got a full-time offer as well. But that comes after, right? So that's one way, and again, link in the description. The second way is the AI fellowship. So this is a AI focused program that pays $2,000 for completing the full program. You also get a cool looking certificate from Cornell University, which is, bro, it looks really really premium. It looks really nice. You work with structured machine learning projects, collaborate with other students, and you gain the practical experience. So when I did it, the first half of the program itself was basically learning like how machine learning works. Like it literally breaks down like exactly what you need to do, how models work, how supervised learning, unsupervised learning, all of that works. And then the second half was you got to choose which company you wanted to work for, but you put in like I think your top 10 choices and then you get matched with the company. So they have stuff like Google. I think they had Lyft as well. I don't remember. The one I did was for Assurant, I think. And then yeah, so they have that, and then also you get a mentor as well from a FANG level company. So mine was from Amazon, for example. So it's like very very valuable if you can get in there. Again, you do need to apply, and it's getting more and more competitive. So I would highly recommend you hop on it as soon as you can. Now, let's say that you want to completely start from scratch. So another thing I did was Forage. So this is virtual experience from real companies. So this is actually one of my favorite ones, and it's very very underrated. It's called Forage. Okay, so I after this video, after you watch this, right? I never want to hear that you don't know how to get experience, because Forage literally breaks this. Like that's the only thing that you need to break it. So it provides free virtual experience sponsored by real companies such as EA, so that's Electronic Arts, Lyft, and JP Morgan, and I think they have like Red Bull. They have some other companies like you probably know a lot of these companies like Citibank and stuff like that. These programs are asynchronous, meaning you can do them while not following a set schedule. Like you basically work on your own time, and then you'll complete these practical tasks that simulate the real work experience from those companies, and then you can list them on your resume, of course, and then your LinkedIn profile as well. Again, if you are wondering how to gain experience before your first internship, this is the fastest and most accessible ways to do it. It's 100% free. And it really gave me tangible experiences to talk about during my interviews, especially like towards the start. Now, we have Extern. So this is externships for early experience. Now, this one I think I did the program like halfway through, and then I had to dip it because I had already had like an experience. So these are basically internships. Like externships and internships are basically like same thing. If you want to be really technical, they are different, but they're basically the same thing. But these are unpaid, basically unpaid externships, and you might consider this through a platform called Extern. So it's Extern. Again, link in the description. I am not affiliated with any of these. I'm just telling you what works for me. So externships, bro, it's so hard to say, but these are often unpaid, and they are structured similarly to internships, and you work with real companies and gain exposure. So some well-known companies that they had was like Canva, Snapchat, and some other ones that they did. And then early on, the priority should really gain experience and credibility. Compensation should come after, once you've built that foundation, right? So learn before you earn is what I personally say. And this is how you really break the paradox there. And again, you don't want to like sell your soul and work like free labor and stuff like that, but like this I highly recommend you do. So it gives you real company exposure, resume credibility, and strong interview examples as well. So highly recommend. Again, I didn't finish the program just to be transparent with you, but I did learn, and I did up to half. So yeah, that. And then the fifth way is called MLH, Major League Hacking. Now, if you already know what it is, you can skip to the next one. But it's basically hackathons, right? So hackathons are fast growth, and I actually did one like last week. And so MLH actually sponsors hackathons across the country, both in person and virtual. So basically, you join their community, you form teams, you build projects in short time frames, like 24 to 48 hours. You compete for prizes, internships, and job opportunities. And even if you don't win, you leave with literally a completed project, team collaboration experience, and a stronger portfolio. Like that project you built in like 24 to 48 hours, like that's basically a hackathon, right? So you basically form a team and then you work on it for 24 to 48 hours. And if you're like introverted like me, and you don't really like, I was honestly introverted when I first started this whole thing, and now I would say I'm a little bit more extroverted. But if you are introverted, don't worry, they have Discord server where you can literally chat, and then you can like they have a channel where you form teams for the specific hackathon that you're attending, so you can literally make friends on the fly, and it can all literally be through Discord, so you don't have to speak in person if that's how you are, and no judgment at all. And then hackathons really helped me become more comfortable with building something quickly and explaining my work clearly. That confidence showed up in interviews as well. So when you do the presentations for hackathons, like that also it like gives you practice for real interviews. And plus it was fun to really build a project with friends or like random people I've never met and just like gain a bond with them. And then the merch is fire. So if you ever do one in person, like you get like a cool shirt, you get food. It's amazing. And then the final one is ACM. So ACM is basically a club that your university should have if you're going to a university. So I highly recommend you do that one. So I wasn't really active in this one, but I attended maybe like a handful of events, and I used it for networking, like more for networking. And I put it in this guide really because a lot of you guys can find value in networking. Um, so I highly recommend you join ACMs. ACM stands for the Association for Computing Machinery, by the way. And most universities do have a chapter for that. And ACM chapters typically run technical projects, they host a lot of workshops, they invite industry speakers, they create network opportunities, so really valuable there. And being active in a technical student organization also demonstrate initiative. It also gives you leadership and teamwork experience, which recruiters love. Like they love that stuff. And then if you're already paying the tuition for your university, might as well take advantage of this opportunity. So, in short, when they see breakthrough tech, CodePath, Forage, hackathons, ACM, they see a student who's actively building experience, and that's really what helped me build these or land these internships at Verizon and Apple. So, for context, my timeline was these programs, and then I got Verizon, and then I got Apple. So, focus on these first and keep applying. And then I'll be like real with you guys. If I did not participate in these programs, I don't think I would have received those offers either. So if you're trying to really get a tech internship with no experience, you don't need the perfect credentials. I literally went to a top 100 school, and that's not a flex. Like that's really bad. I think they're ranked like 73. It's UT Dallas, by the way, at the time right now. And you don't really need extraordinary projects. Again, I told you, I literally reused projects I found on YouTube and followed along those experience or those tutorials. And you don't need connections either. I don't have a family member who's working in tech, nor did I have a job waiting for me after graduation. So I have literally used no pre-existing relationships. I literally had to build it up myself. So you need proof that you are serious and actively improving. So again, all of these programs are free, accessible, practical, and they build your resume. Start with just one, apply this week, and just commit to finishing. And then please, like, I know as a CS student, I know like you will procrastinate. Like I highly think that most of us watching this are will procrastinate and not do it. But do not I can't even speak, bro. Do not hold off on it. Literally bookmark this and start grinding. It's not too late, and the momentum really compounds quickly. So highly recommend to keep on going. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you want like more guides of this, I know this is a longer guide, but it really helps you. Yeah, just like and subscribe and comment, where you are in the process, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.